Welcome, Shabbat Shalom, everybody, to Junior Congregation Services. We are going to sing, we are going to pray together, and we're going to begin by expressing our gratitude that we get to sit together, be here together as brothers, as sisters, as family. We're going to sing Hine Ma Tov, so if you know it, join in with me. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Repeat after me. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Okay, sing it like I do. Ready? Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Now sing it really, really long note, one breath. Hey, Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. All right, I am wondering if everybody at home, if you know where we get all of our stories from as the Jewish people, and what's the name of the big scroll that we read. And I bet some of you, I bet, are calling it out right now. What's the big scroll in the sanctuary in the ark is a Torah. And the Torah, you may or may not know, the Torah is made up of 5 books. Raise your hand if you are reading chapter books. I think some of you might be reading chapter books now. So it's kind of like we have 5 big chapters that the Torah is split in. And I'm going to have you repeat after me. We're going to sing the names of these 5 books, and it goes like this. Do you know the 5 books of Moses? The 5 books of Moses. The 5 books of Moses. Do you know the 5 books of Moses? Say them after me. Repeat after me. There's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy. Sing it again. There's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy. All right, let's try from the beginning. And this time we're going to do it the Hebrew names. So we're not going to say the 5 books of Moses. We're going to say Moses' Hebrew name, which is Moshe. So we go like this. Do you know the 5 books of Moshe? The 5 books of Moshe. The 5 books. So let's say Chamesh for 5. Ready? Do you know the Chamesh books of Moshe? Chamesh books of Moshe. Chamesh books of Moshe. Do you know the Chamesh books of Moshe? Say them after me. Repeat after me. There's Bereshit, Shemot, Vayikra, Bamidbar, Devarim, Devarim, Devarim. Do it again. There's Bereshit, Shemot, Vayikra, Bamidbar, Devarim, Devarim, Devarim. Oh, good job. And no Shabbat service would be complete without singing my favorite Shabbat song, a little Bim Bam. So if you know Bim Bam, I want you to sing nice and loud with me. Ready? Bim Bam, Bim, Bim, Bim Bam, Bim, 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 Bim Bam, Cheery, beery, beery, Bim Bam, Bim, Bim, Bim Bam, Bim, 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 Bim Bam. Now sing a really loud Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Now sing really quietly. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Even softer now. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Now sing really loud. Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. All right, I think we are ready to actually begin our prayer service. We have basically, so far, we've been singing together. We've been singing some songs celebrating Shabbat, and now it is time for us to stand up and to start praying some prayers. So if you are able to, I ask that you now rise if you're at home, or if you're here, rise. And if you know which way is east, then face east. If you don't know which way is east, that's okay. You can just aim your heart toward the east, because what city is east of us? Well, Israel is east of us, and Jerusalem is the city in Israel we are facing. So we sing the Baruch Hu together. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la la la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. HaMevorach can put one finger in the air, put one finger up, and repeat after me, there is one God. And now take that finger and point that finger right at yourself. There is one me. There's only one God, and there's only one me. And we are so grateful for our one God, and we are so grateful that each of us is unique. We are so grateful for everybody we know, and for each of us that even if you're twins or triplets or quadruplets or quintuplets, that you are still unique. You have your own way of wearing clothes. You have your own way of talking and speaking, and your hair looks different than others. And we're so grateful for that. So we sing the Shema together, and to show how important this line is, if you want to, you can really focus and close your eyes. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed. And if you were standing, you may be seated. And we're going to focus now on those people in our lives who are in need of some extra healing. Maybe some people who might need some healing of the mind, of the body, or of their spirit. And so if you have the name of somebody that you would like to share this Shabbat, I invite you to do so. I see Mara. Hi, Mara. It's been a long time. I see that you just said hello. Shabbat Shalom. So if anybody at home, if you have a name of somebody that you'd like to think of this Shabbat who's in need of healing, I invite you to either rise or remain seated and to either say their name out loud or to keep their name silently and protect their names in your hearts and minds. So do that now. To all those names that have either been said out loud or kept silently protected in one's hearts or minds, we all ask for a speedy recovery and a full recovery, a refuah shlema, as we join in together with the words of Mishaberach L'cholim, a blessing for those who are sick. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Baruch atah Adonai rofei hacholim. Blessed are you, God, who heals the sick, and together we say, Amen. We now take some time for just a little peace and quiet. It's kind of hard to do sometimes, but to try to prepare ourselves for Shabbat, we try to find a little bit of peace so that we can bring the peace that is Shabbat into our lives as well. So you can close your eyes and let's just find some moments of some silent prayer and reflection. Yehiyu leratzon im refi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri v'goali Yehiyu leratzon im refi v'hegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri v'goali So I'm going to tell a little bit of a Shabbat story right now. This is a story about a young boy who was never really happy with the life he had at any given moment. He was always thinking about the future. And this young boy, if he were at school, he would wish that he were already home, that school was over. And if he were home, he would wish that it was that it were already dinner time. And if it was dinner time, he would wish that it was bedtime. And if it was bedtime, he wished it was already time to wake up again. And this was always the case. He was never happy with just where he was and what he was doing. He always wanted to be wherever was next. And so he kept wanting and wanting and wanting to be in the future, whatever was coming up. And he often liked to go for walks out in the wilderness. Not exactly the wilderness, the forest, which may not be the wilderness. But he liked to go for walks in the forest. And one day, he went out into the forest and he sat down, he laid down, he took a nap, and he was woken up by a voice. And he looked, and it was an old woman who walked up and said, "Why, hello, I see that you're taking a nap." And the young boy was startled and was about to get up and run away when the old woman said, "I know that you dream about always being in the future, always wanting what's next. I have this magical golden apple I'm going to give you. You can take this golden apple, and every time you pull on the stem, you will instantly jump to the future wherever you want it to go. So go ahead, you take this apple." And the young boy was like, "Oh my goodness, okay, I guess I'll take it." And then he looked up and she was gone. Well, he was like, "Oh my God, it's getting dark. Oh, I wish I were home already. I can't believe I have to walk all the way home." So then he tried his apple. I'm gonna pull the stem. Whoop! And he was instantly home already. He was home and he was like, "Oh, but it's not even dinner time yet. I'm so hungry. I still have to do my homework and do some chores and stuff. I just want to be eating my dinner. Oh, I'll try my apple again." Boop. And then instantly he's sitting at the dinner table and it's dinner time. But then he was eating and he's like, "Oh, I'm just so tired now. I wish it were bedtime." So he pulled the apple, boop, and it was bedtime already. And he was in bed. And then he was like, "Well, okay, now it's bedtime, but I don't want to go to sleep. I just want to be at school again tomorrow. I'll just pull this." And then boop, instantly he was at his school. And then he was like he was at school and he was like, "All right, well, I don't want it to be Monday. I want it to be Friday so I can, be done with school for the week and have my weekend." So, plus it's Shabbat, which makes all the difference. So he pulled the stem and, it was days later. It was Friday. He doesn't know anything that happened in between. And then he was like, "Well, it's the weekend, but it's winter time. And I wish, well, no, it's not. It's like getting colder, right? Because he was able to go out in the forest. But I wish I could go outside and play more. I wish it were warmer. I wish it were just spring already or summer. Let's go. I wish it were summer." He pulled the thing and boop, instantly, it's summer. Oh my goodness, months just went by. And then he was like, you know what? This summer's great, but like, I'm still like, I have to go to school when the summer's over. I wish I was just done with like being in school. I'm gonna pull this apple again. Boop. Instantly, he was years older, and he was already done with being in school. And he realized he was an adult. And then he said to himself, oh my goodness, I'm an adult now, but I don't want to have to like work or anything. I'd rather just like be retired so I can just like watch TV all day. So he pulled the thing and boop, instantly, he's an old man. And he's worked a whole life and he's retired. And he's sitting and watching Wheel of Fortune. But then he realized, he was like, wait a second, but now my life is almost over. Well, I didn't get to like do anything. What am I going to do now? I missed everything. I missed my whole life. So he was very sad, and he decided to go for a walk again out into the forest and just be out there and sit down and try to enjoy his life. He was very sad that he missed so much of his life. And just then, he saw that same old woman. And he called out to her. He said, I don't want this anymore. I want to go back. I want to go back to when I was a kid. I want to live my life. I don't want to keep I'm not going to keep wishing to jump ahead to the future. I just want to live my life. And she said, all right then. Poof. Instantly, he was back. He was back in that forest where he was first sleeping when he first saw that old woman before he got that golden apple. And he was so happy because he knew that he could walk home and experience everything on the way home. And he knew that he could go home and do his homework and eat dinner and go to sleep and just enjoy being in the moment. And so from this story, we all learn Shabbat is really a time for us to slow down, to stop, and to just be happy and joyful being in the moment. And actually, that's a lot of what Judaism is. That's a lot of what being Jewish is. We say blessings for things we wouldn't normally think about saying blessings for. Like we say a blessing after we go to the bathroom. Okay, that's a little silly. You can get your giggles out. But we say that blessing because we're so grateful that our bodies are working well enough that we can live our lives and do what we need to do. And so a lot of Judaism is about taking your time and being grateful and mindful in the moment. And to that we say, Amen. And it is time for us to say goodbye to each other. But first, I'd like to sing a song about how wonderful Shabbat is, how beautiful this day is. Ma Yafeh Hayom. If you know it, please sing with me. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh, Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed singing and praying, and I hope you enjoyed my Shabbat story. And I hope and pray that this Shabbat brings you a little bit of Shabbat peace, and that you appreciate being where you are and when you are, and that you can find some joy in what you have. Until next time, thank you. Shabbat Shalom.